Burke Paddock. Is that Irish or what?
I have no idea. Scottish probably.
All right. The one thing I didn't look up was where Warsaw is. So you're from Warsaw, New York. Where is Warsaw? Like, is that near where Barber grew up?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty close. Warsaw, New York. It's about an hour from Buffalo, an hour from Rochester.
And is that where Barber's from?
He's from about an hour south of me, like Franklinville,
Hmm.
which is actually a town I grew up going to. My buddy's cabin was there in high school, so we actually spent a lot of time in Franklinville, so it's kind of
Really?
cool.
Did you know him before at all?
I did not.
Okay.
I'd heard of the name, but didn't know anything. But then when I came out here and he told me he was from Franklinville, I was like, get out of town, man. Like,
Small world because New York is a big state. It's not like
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, we're 5 hours from New York City, probably.
yeah.
Um, Drive the other direction up towards the Adirondacks. You can drive another five.
The what?
Adirondacks.
What's that?
It's a good state park.
Oh, okay.
Underrated state park in upstate New York. But yeah, you can drive, another 5 6 hours up into the mountains, heading like north. So
Are the winters as bad as what like they portray? I mean, they think when you see like Buffalo, you think just winters are just like the worst possible.
they're pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's
Is
I
it
mean
just
that
because it's cold, or is it a bunch of snow, or a combination? Like, what makes it so bad?
both
Yeah,
both like here in Colorado we get those cold weeks, cold days where
yeah.
it's single digits. It's like that. I want to say 6 to 9 months out of the year. I mean, it's just like it's always cold. It's always snowy. There's the lake effect.
Hmm.
Summers get nice for a good 3 months, but yeah, it's gray, cold. Yeah, Lake Erie's right there, so
Hmm.
it was kind of get hammered with the snow. I mean, I think I saw pictures from our family group snap. There's like 2 3 feet of snow right there. Right now.
Really, right now?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I'm going golfing tomorrow. So
Did you really?
yeah, so you
Wow.
guys have fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be like I don't know if it's gonna get 60 today or tomorrow or both days, but yeah, it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, it was nice on the way here. So
Yeah. Did you ever go to Buffalo and shovel the snow when they asked like people to come in and shovel like the Bill Stadium or whatever?
always wanted to,
Oh,
never
never
did.
did.
I was always younger and wrestling, and even if I did have a vehicle to drive, parents probably didn't want me driving an hour into Buffalo.
Oh yeah, you did say it was
And
an hour.
it was something I always wanted to do and wish I did. Would have been cool, but yeah, never did. I always had something with wrestling going on.
Yeah. When did you start wrestling? I mean, first off, you have a big family. What? Eight in all. Eight siblings in all. Five brothers, three sisters. I'm trying not to look. Five brothers and three sisters.
Nailed it.
Okay. There's Paul, Luke, Aaron, Ian, someone else. And then there's Jessica, Nikki. So I'm missing two.
Ellen, my younger
Ellen,
sister,
yep,
and
okay.
then Joey, my brother, who's
Joey.
right above me
Gotcha.
in age.
Dang.
So yeah, big family, and then on top of that, there was always at least one, usually more kids that practically lived with us. I mean, they
Yeah.
come over for lift in the morning, get ready for
Lift in the
school.
morning.
Yeah, we had a little gym. Kind of our garage was a gym,
Oh yeah.
so we'd work out in the morning. They'd get ready, go to school, go to practice, and then half the time we'd get home and I'd be like, well, my parents don't want to come pick me up and drop me off again at 5 in the morning, so I'm
Mhm.
crashing with you. So there was like, I mean, there could have been a dozen kids in our house at any
Oh
given
my
time.
gosh.
It was hectic, but
Did
great.
did
But
you ever
great.
ask like your mom, now that you're a father yourself, like what your grocery bill was growing up? I can't imagine.
I haven't asked her, and it scares me. I know she would come home with like 4, maybe even more gallons of milk, and like it could be like 2 days and it'd all be gone.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, "Are you kidding me?" And we had like an
Wow.
extra fridge, out in the porch where
Yep.
just
Yep.
another 4 gallons in there, and on top of probably a Costco bag size of chicken for dinner that night.
Yeah, just one bag got you through one night.
I would imagine it's insane, like to think about, and like you said, all the other random kids who were coming through,
True.
you know, they all had a plate too. So, yeah, pretty wild to think back to, as you know, I have a young kid and you know building our family and stuff like that. So,
did you guys like family dynamic wise? I mean, you guys are obviously spread out in age, but like, did you guys play a lot of maybe like 3-on-3 basketball or something, or like games together as a family because you had so many kids? I mean, I think you could have done 4-on-4 flag football if you wanted to. You got 8 kids.
Lot of big games. Yeah, I would never say basketball was in there. Maybe some sort of like tackle basketball, but yeah, a lot of roughhouse and lot of random stuff to do. You know, you name it. But you know, we kind of grew up in middle of nowhere. A lot of freedom to go outside and play, and you know, like '90s kids. You know, what they say. So, you know, somebody was always coming back bleeding or hurt or broken bones or something like that. But yeah, it was a blast having all those siblings, and you know, like I said, we had a good wrestling community. So just like a lot of friends around that you could easily go grab another 5 guys and you know add to the game.
How far out of town? You said you lived out of town a little bit. How far?
Well, we lived in town, but it's a small town,
Okay.
a real small town. So it's
how big?
There's probably like 5,000 people there now. I want to say our graduating classes were around 100 people.
Wow. Okay.
I know now all our sports teams are combined with the neighboring schools, which they weren't back when I was doing all the sports.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just so small that they couldn't even put together a football team.
Wow.
So
you would think with 5,000 people, like, you know, I graduated from Monticello. Heck, I even lived in Monona, Iowa for a while, and we had combined schools, but 3,500 kids or 3,500 people in Monticello, and we could field a football team.
Yeah. And I want to say the population was less back then. I want to say it's kind of gone up a little bit.
Yeah.
Warsaw's like I said, it's a little underrated, but it's a good area. You're close to the both cities, but you know you still got that country feel, small town feel. But yeah, a lot more businesses, a lot more stuff's popped up. So I want to say the population's probably increased since I was younger.
What small town feel? Where at? I'm trying to think. Is that on the eastern side then of New York?
It'd be considered Western New York.
Oh, Western.
But it would be like east of Buffalo. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Growing up in New York, what was that like? I mean, I don't really talk to many people who are from New York. Is like New York like an actual? I don't know. There's like that stereotype, like New York, or I don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe I'm thinking of Boston. I'm confusing with Boston. They're just a little.
You mean like the city?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you know, like first day of college, you stand up and you say, "Oh, my name's Burke Paddock. I'm on the wrestling team. I'm from upstate New York."
Yeah.
And everyone would be like, "Oh, what's New York City like? What's Times Square like?" And I'm like, "I've been to the city once, and it's real far away from my house. Like, no idea." But yeah, we're a farm town, you know, so it's there's more cows than people.
Really?
Easily. And
did you live on a farm?
We did not, but we did business with farms.
Okay.
We own my family owns a breeding service for dairy cows.
Breeding service.
So
my mom always says like one of the most beautiful things or whatever, the best things is to see a calf or like a cow
be born.
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's cool. So yeah, you just kind of we grew up around that, and yeah, other than that, it was just like, we were just wrestling, and I played a little bit of football, but
I did see that.
Nothing crazy, you know. When I think back to it, it was just.
Did anyone else play football or any other sports, or were you guys mostly just
in my family?
Yeah.
I think Ian might have played a year or two of football. We were mostly wrestling. I only played I played when I was a little guy, and I played my junior and senior year.
Yeah.
And that was mostly because all my friends were playing football, and I had nothing to do.
Yeah.
They all started football. I was just sitting around like, I'm bored. Maybe I should play football.
What was it? Why wrestling? I mean, obviously your dad did it, and you guys just grew up. Did any of you not want to do it?
My one brother, Luke, he wrestled in like youth and stuff, and then
Yeah.
he ended up stopping.
Okay.
Um, he ended up going to college for singing. I'm pretty sure he got a
Ah.
scholarship, so like still still doing great stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, my dad did it. I think he was still wrestling in some of those old timer tournaments and stuff like
Your
that.
dad was.
Yeah, when we were all little, there's like some pictures of him out on the mat and us as little kids on the side. So
Yeah.
I think we just grew up watching it and around it. And my dad was like, I would say he was probably an above average wrestler.
Hmm.
Nothing amazing, but like he was a real student of the sport, and he was great at almost everything he did.
Yeah.
And so he was a great coach. And you go out and get your butt whooped in football, but then you go out and
Mm.
win your wrestling tournament. It's like, wrestling's a lot more fun in that aspect. So we
Yeah.
were all just pretty good at it because he was a really good coach.
Were you good
And
at it right away?
we were all pretty good in youth out,
Really?
like I don't know, like I won or was top three in almost all of them. I want to say,
Yeah.
along with all my brothers, like we go back and find all our trophies. Like, there's a lot of first places in there. So
Yeah.
like we were solid. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just more the consistency of it. My dad was just like, hey, every day we're gonna do a workout. Every day we're gonna get a little mat time, and
Yeah.
made it fun and worked at it and no pressure. Just kind of did it and had fun. And yeah, we were all good. And like, yeah, we mentioned earlier, I had five partners at any given time.
Yeah.
And I only have one younger brother, so I had a lot of older people to look up to and footsteps to follow. So that was great for me.
Yeah.
Having brothers who were state champs and all Americans and all this stuff. Like
Hmm.
that's awesome. You get those guys to whoop up on you whenever you want.
Yeah. Did you have a mat at your house?
We had a mat in our living room for
Okay.
the longest time, and
Did you
then
at least put it away when you had like people over, or like,
I
like
don't. I think
if
it
your
just
parents had
stayed.
friends over for card club or something? They didn't.
No, it was just there was like here's a place for all the kids to play.
Okay.
Then eventually, yeah, we had that gym, that was our garage and an upstairs to it, and
Hmm.
mats down up there. Everybody called it the barn, but there's
Yeah.
no cows in there.
Yeah.
But so yeah, then we had one wrestling mat with the mats on the walls, so you could
Yep.
kind of bust into them a little bit.
Hmm.
But yeah, so we always had a wrestling mat.
What was your mom like? Was she involved in wrestling too, or did she like marry into it and just sort of inherently by being around your dad and all, like she just started to be a wrestling mom?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's both.
Yeah.
She my one of my coaches, Charlie Voorhees, she went to school with him. I think they were around the same grades,
Hmm.
but he was a really good wrestler, made state finals, wrestled for Buffalo. And
Okay.
so she was friends with him. I think she went to like the state tournament and always like supported him. And then there's another good guy. He was Nate Schneckenberger, another like state placer, stuff like that. And these are good old Warsaw names.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but so she kind of grew up through high school, like supporting those guys, being friends with them. So she always liked it. And then yeah, she married my dad. Obviously, got more involved with it. But when we were all younger and my dad was looking for someone to coach us, she's like, this guy I went to high school with, Charlie
Hmm.
Voorhees, like he was the best wrestler ever. And
Yeah.
my dad was like, I don't know if I ever heard of him and whatever stuff like that. And
Yeah.
one way or another, ends up bringing Charlie in, and he coached all of us, man,
Yeah.
and he's a great coach. I attribute a lot of my wrestling career to the things he's taught me, among tons of other
Right.
coaches. I've been incredibly fortunate,
Yeah.
but he was one of the youth right all the way through high school was always there, so
Yeah.
taught us a lot.
Did you guys have a wrestling club, or like was there a town wrestling club? I've been finding out it's fun, like because I grew up about the same time you did. Um, I guess I'm a little older, but whatever. But it's always fun to talk about the town clubs, that we had, like Warsaw Wrestling Club, and it was just a bunch of kids in your town. Like, is that what
Mm-hmm.
it was?
So yeah, there was the Youth Warsaw Wrestling Club or
Nice.
whatever way back in the day.
Yeah.
And apparently, as the story goes, my dad, well, I'll back up a little bit. As most youth practices are, you walk in,
Yep.
it's hectic.
Yep.
There's a bunch of kids running around. Maybe 10% of them are doing the move that you just showed.
Yeah.
And I think my dad probably walked in and looked around and was just like, they're not learning nothing here.
Yeah.
And he kind of went through and handpicked out some kids, and we're just like, I got a wrestling room. We're gonna do something better,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of it ended up being 10 guys, and so we called it Team 10. I'm actually wearing the shirt right now.
No kidding.
Yeah, didn't even plan that. Just kind of had it. But so yeah, my brother's got the club back up and going, which is what this
Nice.
shirt's
Which
from.
brother?
Paul.
Nice.
Yeah, Paul and Ian, I think are doing it. I think Aaron's helping out there too. So
Nice.
most of them actually are all the ones who are back in Warsaw.
Cool.
And I know there's a handful of other Warsaw wrestlers who are back up getting it going too.
Team
But yeah, I guess he pretty much just kind of saw the hecticness and was like,
Yeah.
we can dial this in a little bit better.
Sure.
And yeah, that was kind of where Team 10 started, and that was kind of the baseline for Warsaw wrestling. You know, surrounding kids from other schools would come in and wrestle with us, but that was kind of where Warsaw wrestling got good.
Yeah.
You know, all the guys who came up through Team 10, by the time they got to varsity, Warsaw started getting put on the map for wrestling.
Yeah.
We were pretty bad before that.
Yeah. Really? What? Did your parents grow up in Warsaw, or where are they from?
My mom grew up in Warsaw.
Okay.
My dad, neighboring town, just
Okay.
Perry.
Okay. And how did you end up back in Warsaw? Like, did they ever? Because your dad went to Edinburgh.
My dad went to Liberty.
Liberty,
for
correct.
Like a semester.
Okay, and he wrestled there for a little bit.
Yeah.
And now they don't have a program, unfortunately. But where's Liberty? Like, did
Virginia,
they leave?
I believe.
Did they leave at all and come back to Warsaw, or did they kind of just stick around in the area? Sounds like your dad left for a little bit.
Yeah, my dad, I think he was in Liberty for like a semester.
Yeah.
And went back home and took over the breeding business.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And got that started and kind of grew it and everything. But yeah, I think they were pretty much in Wyoming County, at least practically.
Yeah.
Forever.
And now it's like, how many of your siblings are back there now?
Aaron,
Okay.
Paul and Ian, they're back home. My sister Nikki is. I think my older sister Jess is in the area. She might be in Rochester.
So where's Joey at?
Joey lives in Texas.
Okay. And he's an accountant.
Yeah, I think he has his own accounting business going.
Okay. And then you say Ellen is in Tennessee. Her husband is a wrestling coach.
Yeah. Old teammate.
Yeah.
Mine,
yeah. And that is about when. So your dad also then started that, right? Right.
Yeah,
Team 10. Okay.
Yep.
And how did that start?
So yeah, that started. There was the Warsaw Youth Wrestling Club, which, like you could imagine, when you walk into most youth wrestling clubs, it's hectic. Bunch of kids all running around. So I would assume my dad walked in and kind of just saw the madness and was like, "We got a wrestling room. Let's dial this down and produce some good wrestlers." And so I think he kind of probably handpicked the kids who were working hard. Looked like they knew their lefts from rights in a wrestling sense, and pulled those kids out and were just like, "Hey, if you guys want to come, free wrestling over at this place." And
free? You guys didn't charge?
Oh yeah, no, it was just open door. Just come on in, and as long as you're cool, no problems.
Yeah. Was there any animosity? I don't know if I want to use that term, but because Warsaw had a youth wrestling program, and then your dad comes in and creates Team 10, was there any friction between Team 10 and the Youth Warhol Wrestling Club?
I would say maybe a little bit at first. Maybe between youth wrestling tournaments, something like that. Warsaw sending a team, we're sending a team. Nothing that I ever saw, just maybe drawing some assumptions. Maybe there was something small, but I know as we got older and we started getting into the varsity, we would all wear Team 10 or even a Paddock's breeding service shirt, which had nothing to do with wrestling.
Yeah.
We would wear all those to tournaments, and our friends from the neighboring schools would be wearing them too. So then it kind of became a thing. There's actually one picture of everybody who placed at the state tournament from probably 2 or 3 different schools. And after all the podium shots were taken at the state tournament, it's all of them standing on the podium. And yeah, they weren't even wearing a Team 10 shirt. They were wearing a Superior Genetics Paddock's breeding service shirt, and that ended up causing issues like
Really?
that. And anytime you wore it underneath your warm up and you could see it, they're like, oh, it should be Warsaw Wrestling. So I don't think nothing ever really came of it,
Yeah.
but there was a little bit of talk, little bit of animosity there.
Yeah.
But overall, we improved the program. I mean, I would say
True.
we literally put the town on the map because of wrestling. And so whether somebody was mad about it or not, it was only good
Yeah.
that came out of it.
And you wrestled for Warsaw High School, so you know you represented them. It's not like,
Yeah.
so.
But it's all cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any Warsaw Wrestling Club shirts?
Now, I probably have one in my closet.
There we go.
I probably still got one in my closet.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, it's always hard to get rid of those. I guarantee back at my mom's house, my old high school room, there's probably about 50 of them.
Yeah.
So probably got a pair of old warm ups and a singlet too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so as you were getting older, Paul was the first one out, and he got a scholarship to Edinburgh. Have you or did you talk to him at all about like him even getting a scholarship to Edinburgh? Like when that even became a possibility, and when, because I assume for you, you know, like as you got older, you started to see Division 1, but since he was the first one out of the chute, like he had nobody to pave the way for him in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I guess I was just wondering a little bit about that.
You know, I didn't, and I wish I had.
Mm-hmm.
The age gap,
True.
and then right when he finished college, I think he was home for a couple of months, and then he moved out to California for a couple of years.
Nice.
And I didn't have a phone until I was like a senior in high school, so me and Paul we had actually got a lot closer after I got done with college.
Yeah.
And you know we were able to be around more, and that age gap isn't as big when you're older, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I wish I'd talked to him a little bit more about it, but yeah, I was in like sixth grade, and he was you know, a freshman in college probably. So never really crossed my mind, but would have been good for me too.
Yeah. And I mean, so he was the first one to sort of like open that door, and I mean, he was on, if I'm remembering right about that timeline, he was on or somewhat a part of those really good Edinburgh teams.
Yeah.
You know, when they were getting, I think one year, I think they got third. I think, I don't know if they placed ahead of, I don't think they placed ahead of Iowa, but they almost beat them in the duel, or they did beat, I don't know, but they were.
Yeah, they were right there in those years. Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah, and he was a part of those teams, somewhat.
Yeah, you know, he was on the team. I know he started in some duels and some tournaments, so he definitely cracked the lineup. But
did you go watch him?
Yeah, I remember watching.
How far away is Edinburgh?
It's like 2 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like that first duel was incredibly cool.
Yeah.
All the coaches you could imagine, you know, ton of kids from our club all went to it. Super cool.
From Team 10?
Yeah. And Warsaw, you name it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really cool. You kind of look around the crowd and you're just like, oh, well, there's that coach. Yeah. And it's like they all kind of came out to see the first guy, you know.
Yeah.
Starting in a Division 1 duel.
Yeah. And is that about when you started to envision yourself maybe being a D1 wrestler? Or just a wrestler at the next level? Maybe not D1 per se, but just...
That's when the wheel started spinning about what could come of wrestling. I would say at that point in my life, I was just a little crazy kid.
Yeah.
And I was just wrestling. And
you're not thinking about
I'm good at it. I'm having fun. And then, then you hear your older brother's getting his college paid for because of wrestling. And you're like, that's like the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You know? And so, that was where the wheel started turning about it. And then you watch your next brother go Division 1 to a huge school, and you know, one of your other teammates go to a Division 1 school. And,
really nice.
Mike Nevinger, the 2-time All-American for Cornell. You know, same grade as Ian. He went there. Another guy went to Binghamton from our club. So like you're just kind of watching all these guys go D1, get scholarships, and you're just like, this is the route I'm taking.
Yeah.
Like I want to wrestle in college, and
Yeah.
then like I'd mentioned before, you could start going to NCAs, and you just feel, how intense it is.
When was
And
the first one you went to?
it would have been Ian's freshman year, which would have been my eighth grade year, so 2011, I want to say.
Yeah.
And yeah, but like you hear the Iowa crowd or the hate of the Iowa crowd, and that was where I first found my love for Iowa. Like
Yeah.
just hearing everybody who hated them,
Yeah.
and I had that mean in your face, I'll shove you off the mat style. And so, you watch Brent Metcalf shoving some dude off the mat and the
Mhm.
whole crowd going nuts. And you're just like, oh, everybody hates him. Like,
Yeah.
I love him.
Mhm.
So
Is that how your other brothers were? Were they that
they,
that style, or were like
they were a lot nicer than me.
really? Where did that come from? Maybe just being a little younger and you had to be a little meaner.
Yeah, I mean, I probably just always got beat up and was just
Probably.
like,
Yeah. Did they ever take it easy on you?
no. I got my butt whooped a lot, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's so you started. That's when you started to see Iowa and expand. Like, it seems like I'm getting a picture of you like slowly expanding your knowledge of the sport at the next level. Um, and so when you saw Iowa, um, what did you have your sights set then at that point? Like, that's where I want to go to school, or was it just like I like them, that's cool, and that was
It
kind of the end
was
of it?
like I was never dead set on where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Because I'd been wrestling with some guys at Ohio State with my brother. My other brother was in Edinburgh,
Yeah.
and so I just never really knew, but I knew I loved Iowa.
Yeah.
So like that was always in there, but I also never like really thought I would go to Iowa at the same time. And so then when I first got the phone call,
Who called you?
um, somebody reached out to my dad, probably Tom or Terry, I don't
Yeah.
even know, but because it was a little bit before the recruiting phase all started, and but then as soon as whatever it was, July 1st hit, and we were
Yeah.
allowed to, and I could have my first conversation. I mean, I didn't, but I was practically committed on the phone. Like I was just like, I was interested in me. Yup. Like why would I go anywhere else?
Yeah.
So like when that phone call came through, I didn't even really think about another school. I was just like, I'm going to Iowa.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, my as you said, like my knowledge was kind of expanding, and I was getting more thrown into it, but I never thought Iowa was going to be an option. And then as soon as it was, I was all in.
Yeah.
So
And at that point, um, then you were starting to come through New York ranks. You can wrestle in eighth grade there, right?
seventh grade.
You can do in seventh grade.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was seventh or eighth. Were you starting in seventh grade?
Yep.
You
Yeah,
were
I was a
starting
130 pounder in seventh grade.
That's kind of big. I mean,
I wrestled all juniors and
I was
seniors, and
gonna
I was
say.
like 12 years old.
And how'd you do? Did you hold your own?
I was like 45 and 5, something like
Are you
that. All my
serious?
losses came to like state placers and guys who ended up wrestling Division 1. So
Wow.
didn't end up qualifying for the state tournament. I took third at the qualifier, and the guy who won it, I think he didn't even place. The guy who took second, he took fourth. So
Wow.
took third at the qualifier in a pretty decent weight class. So
It was okay.
so yeah, I held my own as a 12, 13-year-old
Yeah.
wrestling 18-year-olds.
Yeah. What was your goal? Like, I mean, I'm just in Iowa. You can't, you can't wrestle until you're in high school. So I'm just trying to imagine being a seventh grader and going, I'm gonna win a high school state title. Like, was that your mindset at that point, or like, what were you thinking?
I wanted to be the first 6-timer. Troy Nickerson was the first and only 5-timer at the time, and I was just like, I'm beating that. I'm beating that. I'm gonna be the first 6-timer.
Wow.
Obviously, pretty upset in 7th grade.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, 8th grade. I'm gonna tie it. I'm gonna be the second one to tie it. Didn't win. So
Yeah.
only ended up coming out with 2. So pretty far off of that 6.
Still, I was looking at some of the guys that were kind of even coming up right. New York is tough. Like, I don't think it gets maybe the credit it deserves, because it's out east and it's overshadowed maybe a little bit by like Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and whatnot. But when you were going for your second state title, there were a couple guys coming up in Yanni
Mm-hmm.
Diakomahalis, and I think Vito was right on his heels too. So
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, those are just two guys. But in eighth grade, who stopped you?
Uh, one of my best friends. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Mike Nevinger, mentioned him earlier.
Yeah.
His younger brother, Chris Nevinger.
Wow.
He was in 10th grade. I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And we were trying not to be in the same weight class, but you know how it goes.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, crazy stories actually, especially thinking back, like I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
He was in 10th. But yeah, we go like sectionals, supers, and then the state tournament.
Okay.
We wrestle in the finals of sectionals. He beats me in triple overtime.
Yeah.
We wrestle in the state qualifier finals. He beats me in triple overtime. We wrestle in the semis of the state tournament. He beats me by a point. So it's just like, 3 weekends in a row, or maybe
Yeah.
with a break in there, or whatever. But yeah, beat me all 3 times. I'm like, you freaking kidding me,
Yeah.
man? Triple overtime, 1 point. He went on to win state title that year.
What place did you end up?
I got fifth.
Fifth.
So yeah,
A little slide there.
yeah, yep, slid down a little bit.
I mean, but at that point, you're only just starting to hit. I mean, your growth spurt, puberty, like I mean,
Yeah.
you almost have like the rest of the world ahead of you. Um, so what happened like freshman and sophomore year
Freshman year, took second.
then?
Lost to the same kid I lost to in the state qualifier finals. So another Section 5 kid
Yeah.
who ended up wrestling for Cornell. Lost to him pretty close.
Yeah.
Both matches. Yeah, he was a senior that year. Went to Cornell. Never ended up starting or anything.
Yeah.
But 10th grade, actually wrestled another one of my buddies in the quarters, and I'd wrestled him that summer and whooped him up pretty
Yeah.
easily. And so when I had him second round at the state tournament, I was just like,
You're licking your chops, yeah.
whatever. And he got good. He got good. He had I remember talking to him after the fact. He's like, oh, he had I forget who, some D1 wrestler who just graduated, moved to his town and was his main partner. And so yep, he caught me by surprise and got heck of a lot better. And so he beat me there. I ended up wrestling him for third and fourth again, beat him for third and fourth. And then yeah, junior senior year won it.
Were you feeling a little bit of pressure at that point before your junior year, before your state title? Having wrestled, now you're a junior, you still don't have that state title. You were telling yourself you were going to be a six-timer, and now you're a zero-timer at this point.
Yeah. That it sucks, right?
Yeah.
When you break it down like that.
Yeah.
I would say, man, I don't know if there was pressure because right in those years, I think I grew a lot mentally.
Yeah.
And in those years leading up to where I'd never won a state title, my junior year, I almost expected it.
Yeah.
I thought I was entitled to it. I thought, oh, I bust my butt. I do all the right things. I the best coaches, the best workout partners. Like, I'm a state champ caliber wrestler. I should be winning state titles. So I think I grew a lot mentally, as a person, as a wrestler, as a kid, and I think some of that entitlement that I thought I had coming my way from the work that I'd put in kind of went away, and it just kind of went to like, just follow the path.
Yeah.
Do what's right. Just stick to it, and like, you wanted 6, you're at 0, so like you're pretty darn far off. So it doesn't even matter. Like it almost left, and that was when I just kind of started wrestling, and if that makes sense,
Yeah.
So yeah, less pressure and more just self-realization of just because you work hard doesn't mean you deserve it or you're going to get it. It's everything, and you got to make it happen. As the other part, you can say, oh, I underestimated my buddy because I whooped him up, but like I messed up, and props to him. He got freaking good in 1 year and came out and wrestled a really good match.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's it was a big learning curve, I
Yeah.
would say, and I think I accepted it really well, and that's when I think my wrestling also jumped to another level.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So was that pretty satisfying then, that first state title? Or was it at that point because you expected it to happen that it was almost like, like I know it was your first one and you should have been, you could have been really super stoked and excited, but you could have also been like, well, I expected this, so here I am.
Yeah, it was both. I'll say I was incredibly stoked when I won. I jumped up, threw my arms up, jumped in my arms, in my dad's arms. It was super cool. Um, but as I was just saying, you can't expect to win everything. Like I was at that point, I kind of knew I was gonna win. I
Yeah.
was just like, and I hadn't had a close match all season. Kind of just beating everybody up pretty bad. So I was like, man, like I know I'm winning it this year. But so when I won it, it was still a super great feeling. Also, I pinned the kid in the first period, so part of me was like, man, I knew I was gonna win, but I didn't think I was gonna, be done in like a minute.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I was pumped. It was a great feeling, and second state title, I was a little more stoic, just got my hand raised, but like again, great feeling, super pumped about it.
Yeah.
Just kind of trying to follow the rule of you've been here, be professional, and just
Yeah.
another day of work.
And at that point, you were chipping away at some of Ian's records, right? Like, I think that's when you passed him for career wins, and that's when you started. Did you? That's when you started to,
I guess so. Yeah,
sort of.
I didn't really notice it at the time.
Yeah.
Never really cared so much about that stuff. Now that I still have the win record in New York, it's super cool to
Yeah.
look back on it
Yeah,
and
because you
say,
you still have the most career wins,
yeah, it's like 10+ year record that I got
and
now.
like we just listed, like Yanni came through there, Vito. There's a bunch of other guys. I'm sure that I can't name off the top of my head, but New York has some really good wrestling, and
Yeah,
so
some standout wrestlers for sure.
I'm sitting right here next to the most career wins in New York history.
Yeah, 304. So I will say, I don't know if Yanni even had 304
Yeah.
matches. So
It doesn't matter.
but yeah, no, I wrestled a crap ton of matches, man. I don't know, I probably had something like 20 losses too. So I mean, it's a lot of high school matches.
Yeah.
But we get seventh, eighth grade,
Mm-hmm.
and that's right when dual meet tournaments were kind of starting to take off.
Yeah.
And man, I even think later in my high school career they made a rule of like two um dual meet tournaments a season because you get 10 matches at each of them.
Yeah.
So but I think there was a year before that was a rule, and we had even more.
Yeah.
So it's like I was getting 50+ matches a season.
Yeah.
It's a lot of wrestling.
Yeah. And actually, you know, your senior year was that when you were throwing a little bit of a curveball?
In what sense? With my brother? Is that
Yeah.
what you mean?
Yep.
It would have been that would have been heading into my junior year.
Heading into your junior
Summer
year.
before my junior year, I want to say, yeah.
Okay. So that's when you guys were cutting a tree limb down and it fell on Aaron, and because I read that's why you have some tattoos on here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're, what do they mean? What do they say at first, and what do they mean?
So yeah, I got pretty big one. It's like Aaron's Army all here, and then chest piece, and says, "Without my brother, there'd be no victory. He's shown me the true meaning. As the years go on, we will be victorious."
Where'd you get that
And
quote?
kind of funny. High school girlfriend. I was looking up quotes. I was trying to find something. I was combining a few of them.
Yeah.
And because I wanted something personal, meaningful, that hit the spot. And as I'm writing stuff down, coming up with stuff, I think the next day she came into school and was like, "I came up with this," and I was like,
I
"Dang
mean,
that!"
she came up with it. Like,
I think I'd sent her or given her like, "Oh, I'm thinking of this. I'm
Gotcha.
thinking of that, or something like this," and she had some ideas, I want to say, and
yeah.
yeah, I think she came in and had it written down and was just like, "Oh, I came up with this," and I was just like, "Man, that's super cool." And I even had the thought like right there in the moment of
Yeah.
like, this is a high school girlfriend
Right.
and something she came with. So, but
Does Megan know? She know your
I
height?
don't even know. Maybe.
Oh, she's about to.
She's about to.
You might want to tell her before the Sayers that,
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
No, that, you know, but that was so that was going into your junior year. So that was even before you won your state title, and I mean your kind of world was flipped upside down. It was pretty serious
Yeah.
accident.
No, yeah, it was rough. It was life threatening. You know,
Right.
he was in a coma for like I want to say 3 months and in
Mm-hmm.
the hospital for longer, and then there was all the stuff after. You
Yeah.
know, the recovery and the what ifs and stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, man, it was a lot. And it was hard, and kind of gave me another drive for my
Yeah.
wrestling career. That was my little brother who I think he was in 7th grade and placed 6th at the state tournament.
Wow.
So then he lost his 8th, 9th, and I think even his 10th grade year
Wow.
to all of this. And so when I won my state title, it was just like, hey, I know he would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
He would have done it too. This is like our state title,
Yeah.
and so it gave me an extra boost, an extra drive to try to do it for him as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It was a long summer and beginning of the school year, until things started kind of easing back into normal.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine. You know, especially at that young of an age, you're kind of fragile. You know, and
yeah,
you were 16 or so, 17. Like,
you think you know how to handle and process and all that stuff, and
yeah.
still even as an adult, it's not really right answer
Right.
to any of it. So yeah, you're just a kid and kind of trying to pretend like you're tough and you're all good, but
Mm-hmm.
like you're not.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So he starts to get better, and then you guys start to take off, and um, well, you start to take off. I guess your trajectory really starts to hockey stick there and skyrocket. Um, then you find yourself at the University of Iowa.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, wow. Did you? I mean, did you even consider going to like Ohio State, where because you had two other brothers. They went to Edinburgh and Ohio State, and you go like it's a little uncommon, I'll say.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, the Ferraris are doing it right now, but you know, it's still a little uncommon that
It's usually one brother they
right,
get the next, and that was
or at
kind of
least a couple of them go to the same school.
yeah. Um, I knew I wanted to be in like a great school, and so
Yeah,
like I said, when I was reaching out, um, that was where I wanted to be, but um, oh geez, I'm sorry, I lost myself. Or
no. So it typically when
oh,
um
going to the same schools,
yeah
yeah, yeah. Um, Edinburgh, they were great, but like I don't know. I guess I always was always stuck on Iowa. I always
yeah
had that little feeling. I remember the Ohio State coaches were not incredibly happy when I committed to Iowa, and that's where I say I went to Ohio State from 8th, 9th, and 10th grade
yeah
because 11th grade I committed to Iowa and stopped going there. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't anything bad. Like
yeah
when I was younger, I kind of planned on going to Ohio because Ian was there,
yeah
and yeah, I don't even know. I think it was just that phone call, and hearing the brands talk to you and say they're interested. It was just like, yeah,
yeah
like why wouldn't I? So
yeah
yeah, I had thoughts of it, but yeah, there's just from that young age that watching Iowa when I had no ties to them at the NCAA tournament and loving
yeah
them, and then to being good enough for him to call me was just like, yeah, that's where I want to go. And my brother, he was a 4-time starter, qualified for NCAAs 4 times, and um, still did an All American. And so I was just like, I want to be an All American.
mm-hmm.
So, and obviously Ohio State was producing amazing
Right, yeah
athletes at the time. So, but just like, oh well, it wasn't a right fit for or maybe it was the right fit, I would say, but like, um, he'll say it too, but like he didn't reach his goals as a
yeah
college wrestler, which I didn't. He did a heck of a lot better than me, the collegiate career. So, but I think that maybe played a little factor into it too. I was just like, oh, didn't work out the way I envisioned it for my brother. So
Yeah.
like Iowa though, like Matt McDonough and Dennis, they both just all American,
Yeah.
So um, there's maybe a little bit of that
I know what you mean.
in the thoughts,
Yeah.
and that's not
I'm tracking.
not trying to knock Ohio or Ian
right
or anything like that's.
But when
maybe
you
just
see,
some of my inside thoughts, I guess.
Yeah. So translation: when you see your brother competing at a school and he doesn't reach his goals, that does give you a little pause. Like, well, can I go there and reach my goals if he didn't? Like nothing against him. It's just the results didn't quite match up to the expectation. And when that happens, that gives you a little bit of pause in terms of, well, maybe it might not be the right fit for me, or like there's a little bit of pullback there.
Yeah, because they were the guys I looked up to. They're the best wrestlers I'd ever seen.
Right.
So it's like when you see it not pan out for them, there's a thought, and that was also when I think that was right when Iowa was winning national titles every year or second every year, and Ohio was 3 and 4 right behind them in those times. So I'm like watching, Dan Dennis almost beat the guy who beat my brother.
I can't watch that match.
It's heartbreaking, isn't it?
I don't watch it. Like I can watch the whole match until the last
until the end.
I can't watch it
until the match is over.
Yeah,
actually,
I just can't. I was.
But yeah, you kind of see those things, and like I said, the whole the Iowa program, everything that comes with it. You're like, man, if I'm going All-American, it's there.
Yeah,
it's at this program. So I'd say that was my thoughts behind it, and I'd say a lot of this stuff, man, I've probably thought about it a little bit, but I don't think I've ever articulated it. So it's good questions.
Yeah, thank you. So you end up at Iowa, and you redshirt. Was the plan always to redshirt? And what is a redshirt year like? I don't know if I've asked enough people that, because like I don't think people understand the grind of a redshirt year. Basically competing in a couple tournaments, and that's it.
Getting your butt whooped every day.
Right. Yeah, waiting your turn because you're not starting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe you had a different experience, but like I just imagine just trying to grind through a redshirt year.
When I came in, I don't think they'd ever started a true freshman at that point.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the expectations that I would. But you better bet, like, if I was like, if I walk in there and Nick Moore was the 65-pounder at the time before I ever wrestled him, I was like, man, if I go in there and kick his butt, you better bet I'm starting.
For sure.
But, not the story. Went in there, and just like most your redshirt freshmen, you can go in there and you can, even if it's a guy who ends up being a multiple-time All-American, they're probably getting their butt whooped by a third-string guy that first year, because the jump is so incredible from high school to college, especially when you get in those high level programs too. You're just full of hammers in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the redshirt season, you're looking at 4 or 5 opens that you had to pay for.
I was gonna say you had to pay for them, yeah.
Back then,
you're unattached.
You had to pay for them. Had to drive there. Had to get your hotel, and weren't allowed to work or make money at that time either. So couple extra fun things to deal with, but it's like you're in the grind every day because you're not a starter, so you're a partner for a starter, or you're doing what a starter needs for you, so you're doing everything you can to be the starter next year, but then you're trying to be a teammate for me, it was Mike Evans, Sam Brooks, Mike Kelly, Nick Moore, those guys right around my weight, wrestling with them every day, trying to help them, and then on top of that, you're just getting your butt whooped, man. I mean, I think Mike Evans probably beat me 200-0 some days, and stuffed me up against the wall, and like I remember just like going back to my dorm room and just like, cool, I gotta study, write a paper. And I just, my eyes black, my ego is completely shattered. Like, it's like, it's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough. And the opens, like, they're cool, they're experienced, but like, that's not what you go to college for.
Right.
So it's like you're getting some match time, but like you're just waiting. You're kind of waiting until you're the man at the weight class, and yeah, then that jump is huge. So you got a lot of ground to cover
What is
to
the
be the man.
biggest jump? I've heard some varying things, but there seems to be one constant. I'm just curious if you hit the constant.
I mean, I would say there's a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
but um, I mean, you'll probably hear any coach say like the hand fight.
Yeah, yeah.
So like the hand fight is, and it's true.
It is, yeah.
Guys, when you're go from high school to college, like you can't get out on bottom, and you can't ride anybody, and you're getting hand fought into the ground, and then I would say one of the other biggest parts is just like the overall mentality of every point. Like I watch guys concede points and are like, don't make the guy fight for it. And I'm like, I don't care if I'm in the room and I know the guy's gonna get a takedown. I'm like, I'm kind of screwed here. He's gonna get it. He's gonna fight for 10 more seconds. Like I don't care. I like we both know you're getting it. Like I'm not just letting go of my whizzer and turning down. I'm like, I'm gonna make you earn it.
Yeah.
Even if it's 10 more seconds. Heck, maybe the whistle's gonna blow in 5. You know, we've got there's no big timer up on our wall. So, yeah, just that fight for every single point in every single position. Is a pretty key aspect, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking back, like, unless you're the highest of guys, okay, the highest of level of guys, like I guess I'm even thinking like Mitchell Messenbrink. If you concede a point, you're not guaranteed that you're going to get that point back. Like, if you concede a takedown, doesn't mean you're like in high school. It's a little
you can get it back.
Yeah,
you know, no big deal. Get it back.
But in college, it's like I don't know, man.
One takedown wins a lot of matches.
Right.
You know,
a lot of matches. Unfortunately, because we want to see more points. But
yeah.
But that's just also a token to how difficult it is to score a takedown. People are doing the splits. They're leg passing. They're rolling. Like it's
And if you get in on my leg and I make you fight for a minute,
right?
Whether you get the takedown or not, you're gonna think twice before you take that same shot again. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
You'll be like, man, he almost got me twice. We got in a minute scramble, dog tired after it. It's like the guy's gonna hesitate when it comes to that shot again. But if you he's got me and you turn down, you know, it's I got him. I got him now. He's turning down. And like being able to smell that and turn that up, you know, when you need it, it's a huge deal.
Yeah. And so then you took that into your sophomore year, redshirt freshman year, I guess. And that's when you started to see a crack at the lineup, huh?
Yeah, broke into the lineup a little bit.
What was that like, man? Running out, like, you had been thinking about this time being, you know, an Iowa Hawkeye running out into Carver Hawkeye. Like, what was that like?
It was cool, but that was the first time I would say nerves ever played a factor in my wrestling career. Kind of said before, I was like, you know, when I was younger, I was just a young kid wrestling, and I carried a lot of that through my whole career, where I didn't ever put too much pressure on myself. I was just wrestling, and yeah, there was another level of pressure. I remember my first match, like I think it was against a kid from Maryland who I should have beat, like, and it was like a minute into the first period, and like we go out of bounds or something, and my legs are jello, like. My weight cut was good. My training was phenomenal. You know, like everything was on. It was all up here. Like I got to my own self, and so yeah, there was some nerves in that first match. It was cool.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Iowa crowd, you're pumped up. I finally get to wear the Iowa singlet, and it's at home in Carver in front of the crowd. Like that was super cool.
Yeah.
I think it was a little too cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and as my career, I was able to dial that in a little bit more. That first time, you know, hit you. And I wouldn't say I necessarily mastered it by the time my time was up at Iowa, but I got better at it.
Yeah,
got better at it for sure from that first one.
Yeah. What was that first year like? You know, that redshirt freshman year, because you wrestled quite a bit, but what was that at like 165? Were you kind of going back with Nick Moore a little bit, or was that at 57 with Patrick Rhodes? I forget.
It was Rhodes.
Okay.
Me and Rhodes was a fifth year senior, yeah,
Hmm.
at 65.
Okay.
So yeah, we were going back and forth. You know, he got one duel, I got the next, and Tom and Terry were kind of doing their mind games. Both of you weigh in, both of you be ready to wrestle
Hmm.
and everything. So half the duels I made weight. I'm warming up like I'm gonna wrestle, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, am I even wrestling?
Yeah.
And
It's
then
only natural.
um, so we were going back and forth the whole season, and ultimately, I don't know what their answer was for Big Tens, but we're about 2 weeks out from Big Tens, and I got a concussion middle of practice, and that was about the last of my collegiate career there.
Really.
And yeah, not just because of the concussion, just kind of the way things unfolded after that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I ended up not wrestling at Big Tens. You know, wrestled the off season or whatever, and I think I got about through the first semester the next year, and that was when I stopped being a college boy and started wrestling greco and
Nice.
working.
Yeah. Um, when did you make? Why did you make that decision to start like, you know?
To switch over,
Yeah.
drop out, all
Yeah.
that. Tons of melting pot of different
Yeah.
aspects. Obviously, dropping out of college is like very difficult decision to make.
Of course.
But my dad had passed away like maybe a year before that, and so I'd been dealing with that, which I hate that as like an excuse, and I don't like using it as one. But when I look back to it, I'm like, I couldn't sleep. You know, I'd be laying awake every night, like missing my dad, thinking
Yeah.
about whatever. And then I'm like starting to struggle in classes because I'm falling asleep in every single
Yeah.
class. And then I'm like, man, I need to take a nap so I can have a good practice. So then I'm skipping a class to take a nap to have a good practice. Then I still have a crappy practice, and
Yeah.
um, it all started kind of like building up to like it was affecting my academics, my wrestling. Like I started losing to kids who never even scored a point on me, and it was not sleeping. My head's a mess. I know I'm practically failing half my classes. So like all that stuff played into it, but I would say like when my dad passed away, it kind of messed me up a little bit,
Yeah.
and I hate the excuse because there's tons of guys who had the same or worse things happen, and they're freaking national champs. So it's like
Well.
I hate it, but I look back, being 31 now, thinking of myself, I would think I was like 20,
Right.
21 at the time, and I'm just like, yeah. And my dad was also he was my coach. He
Yeah.
was one of my biggest supporters. Like always had my back no matter what, and so I think there was just that whole side of it too, where the Iowa program is thick skin and tough love, which I knew that getting into it, and Tom and Terry had my back and were there for me, incredibly supportive through the whole thing. But they're thick skin and tough love, no matter what, and
Yeah.
as supportive as they are, it's they're not my dad.
Right.
So it's yeah, I kind of I got lost my coach with it too, in a sense, and yeah, I guess just it was a lot. It was a lot on me, I
Yeah.
would say.
And I mean, I know it can be easy to compare yourself or to look at other people and be like, well, they went through worse. So, but like everybody is different and everyone deals with stuff different and grief and especially losing a parent. Like, yeah, there are good stories about people who lose a parent and man, they go off and do great things. But I'm sure there's 10 stories for every one story that if they lose a parent, they can go the opposite direction. I mean, I'm thankful I have both my parents. I can't imagine what I would have been like at 20 losing my dad.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
give yourself a little bit of grace there, maybe.
No, I do. It's just it's hard to think back to. It's
Yeah.
like I said, I saw my brother being an All American, both my brothers being All Americans. I saw myself being All Americans. I think we had those skills. I
Sure.
think we had
Yeah.
the
Of
potential
course.
to do it. And when you just you dedicate your whole life to something and you come up short,
Right.
it's tough no matter what, and
Is there a time that you can recall, like when you sort of came to terms with that? If you have even yet?
yeah,
I mean,
no, I don't look back on anything with regret.
yeah,
Like my time at Iowa, absolutely love it. Wouldn't change anything. Loved wrestling under the brands with the guys I wrestled with. Um, wouldn't do I love that I dropped out? Is it a difficult thing to look back on? Yes, but I don't regret it.
yeah,
It was took me a little bit to come to terms with it. There was a good while where it was super tough for me, I would say, and I think I dealt with most of it internally. But didn't take too long. I would say maybe about a year
yeah.
or so after I dropped out, started wrestling Greco again, getting back into the sport a little bit more.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that kind of helped me, and jumping back and competing and being somewhat successful, having some success,
Sure, yeah.
on
I
the
thought you
senior
did.
circuit. Again, fell short of practically all my goals, but still did some things I can be really proud of and look back on, and not leave my wrestling career with like a hanging question mark,
Right.
which it would have been if I had just stopped, partway through my college career. So jumping back into the Greco scene really helped me. I guess just feel good about my dedication and time as an athlete.
Yeah.
I would say. And, yeah, actually, one thing a little off of wrestling, but yeah, after my dad passed away, I dropped out of college. I just like, I was emotionally, mentally kind of a wreck.
Yeah.
Took a good 6 months, and I hiked the Appalachian Trail and I just lived with my dog in the woods
Really?
in a tent. I walked like 20 miles a day, and a lot of time to reflect when you walk 20 miles a day
Yeah.
uphill. So I think that was what something that really helped me come to terms and think a lot of things through, and kind of realize you can't go back, you can only go forward. And I think if I had jumped right into wrestling again or right into the workforce and not even wrestled,
Yeah.
maybe it would have been more difficult on me. But I had 6 months alone in the woods,
Yeah.
so just walking and playing fetch with my dog. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was able to use that 6 months really to reflect and come to terms with myself and my decisions, and I guess the path that I was on and going to take.
Yeah.
So little small snippet in there, but it kind of came up as the reflection time.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of,
6 months in nature
yeah.
and kind of did the trick.
Appalachian Trail. Yeah. I mean, well, I kind of asked you, like, how you or when you eventually started to kind of internalize and like just just dissect everything that you've been through the last, that last stint in Iowa. Um, you know, not reaching your goals, your dad passing away. I mean, there's just a lot in there. But I want to mention before like the end of this that you're going to school now, like you're going back, you're going for a degree right now, right?
Yeah, back in school. Um, didn't finish my degree, and again, you can call it another like hanging question mark
Sure.
on all the stuff ahead.
I feel that, man.
And so yeah, and there's been a couple of Division 1 coaching jobs, and that I
Really?
got passed up on because I didn't have a degree,
Mhm.
and I never knew if I'd be breeding cows or building houses or
Sure.
coaching wrestling. But now that I kind of know I'm coaching wrestling, I go back get that degree and make it a full-time job.
Yeah, and so I feel that. Like I said I feel that because yeah, there was always I dropped out of Iowa. I tried my hand at a few different schools. It never worked out, and I was like, "What am I doing?" Like I kept seeing other people graduate and they have their degree, and I was like, I felt that hanging over me. So like I totally understand. I was the old guy in the classroom. I was 30 and I was like, hey everybody. And they're 18 using Yik Yak. And I'm like, I don't even do you know what Yik Yak
I
is?
have no idea what it is. I don't think I've ever heard of it.
It's an app and whatever. But anyway, so I went back, yeah, got my degree and now I'm here. So I mean,
Yeah. And it's always that like you're in a casual conversation with somebody. Oh, where'd you get your degree in? Or
yeah,
where'd you go to school? What'd you
yeah.
get your degree in? And then there's got to be the,
How much time do you have?
yeah, you want to hear the story? Or I dropped out. How about that? I
Mm,
went for a little bit and I dropped out.
yeah,
So, it's be great to have an easy answer on those easy conversations too,
yeah,
on a small scale.
yeah. But where are you going?
Going to Grand Canyon University.
Okay.
So it's all online, so I don't have to be the old guy in the
Nice.
classroom.
Yeah.
I can old guy on the
You're the old
computer.
guy on the computer, yeah. And how far until you're done?
Um, it's probably gonna be like about a year and a half. I think
Okay.
next wrestling season, I'll be like by the end of next wrestling season, I'll be almost done. So I
Yeah.
got like one more season without a degree, and then I should be good after that. So
And are you doing the homework or is Megan?
I've done all of it so far. We had plans. We
Yeah.
had plans for Megan to jump in and help me.
Sure.
And I'm very proud to say she's helped me just a very little
Sure.
bit,
Yeah.
very little
Mhm.
bit. So I told her I was like, if I'm gonna be doing school, like I actually got to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like I can't have you log in for me every
Yeah.
time. I'm so technologically impaired. It's
Yeah.
like ridiculous. So I was like, I just need you to show me how to work it. But I was like, I really need to do all of this work.
Sure.
Otherwise, like I'm gonna be right back where I was 10 years ago in school,
Yeah.
not knowing what the heck I'm doing and trying to figure it out. So I was like, just kind of help me get the ball rolling. And when I need you to edit or help me out, I'll ask you. But I was like, I think I actually need to do most of this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not gonna feel the same.
Yeah. And you, you're almost there. Did you ever think you were gonna go back to school?
No,
No.
no. I didn't ever really think I needed a degree. So, and like I said, family business. We breed cows. Been a carpenter since I was like in high school.
Yeah.
Been pretty good with that kind of stuff. So I was just like, yeah, I went to college to wrestle. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of had to eat those words a few times now.
Yeah.
Could have been making some better money. Made things a little less crazy on my wife
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So we're yeah eating those words now, but we're making it happen and doing what we got to do.
Yeah. How'd you end up out here then in Colorado Springs?
Yeah. Matt Linlin had given me a call. This was shortly after I dropped out and right before I was leaving to go on the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, heard through the grapevine you're done with folk style. Any chance you want to come out to the Olympic Training Center?"
And
And
who's it? Who's Matt Linlin?
uh, he was the head coach at the Olympic Training Center for Greco
Okay.
for a while,
Yeah.
for years before I moved out here, and then by the time I got here, it was like his last year.
Yeah.
Um, but he's Olympic silver medalist, UFC world champ, belt holder. Um, I think he made like an Olympic and a world team for like kayaking or something too, or like rowing. Like the guy's kind of a freak of nature.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he's incredible wrestler, incredible coach in person. But he gave me a call and kind of gave him, half the conversation I just talked to you about. Like, yeah, not mentally ready to wrestle again, but like, yeah, my wrestling career is, incomplete. So, but I told him I wanted to hike the Appalachian Trail. And when I told him, I was like kind of scared. And even though
Why were
like
you scared?
I was like, he's giving me this great opportunity, but I'm like, I won't be ready for another like 8 months though,
Yeah.
because I'm doing this 6 month hike. And so I thought I might lose the opportunity, but I knew I wasn't ready. So I was nervous to even say that in
Sure.
our first conversation, which is yeah, funny. But um he's like, man, that's awesome. That's one of the coolest things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You got my number. Give me a call when you get done with that hike. And I was like, okay. And so yeah, I gave him a call afterward. Still wasn't ready to be away from home quite yet.
Yeah.
Um, so he was like, Cornell, they got a Greco RTC there. How close is that? I'm
That's like
like,
New York.
yeah, they were the
Okay.
New York Regional Training Center.
Hmm.
They had a different name every year I was there. They're like the Spartan RTC now.
Okay.
But I think. But so yeah, I moved out there. I was only 2 hours from home, so I drive home, see the family on the weekend, kind of make up for the time I felt I missed in college a little bit. And yeah, trained at Cornell for I say like 3 years. And again, training situation probably just wasn't quite ideal for me. And there wasn't a ton of Greco guys and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So and I was coming out here once or twice a year for all the camps, and I was making good friends with a lot of the guys who were like resident athletes out here. And they all just had great things to say. And then one of them was just like, "Yeah, don't stay in these dorms. Come stay with me." And so now I'm in Colorado Springs by the
Yeah.
mountains with a vehicle, going out and seeing stuff. And I'm like, okay, the training here is amazing. Coaches here are awesome. I love Matt Lindland. He's tall, long, wrestle the same similar style to me. So I was like, I can learn a ton from him. And I love mountains. I love hiking.
Yeah.
Love nice weather. And so with all these camps, I was just like, I want to move here. Like the training situation's ideal. The lifestyle's there. So I remember I'm standing in the parking lot of my buddy's apartment building, and I call Megan, who's in nursing school back in Ithaca at the time, and I'm just like, I love it here. When you're done with nursing school, we got to move here. And she's just like, okay,
All
I'm
right.
good with Colorado.
Yeah.
Like, compare Colorado and upstate New York, Colorado's a little bit nicer. So
Really?
she was on board right away. So yeah, then finished up nursing school and made another call to Coach Lindland, and he was like, hey, yeah, come on out. We got room for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my road out to Colorado.
How did you
And
meet Megan? Like, when did she come in the picture?
we I had my first class with her freshman year of college.
Okay.
And
What
then
was she doing? So you met her at Iowa.
met her in college.
What
Yeah.
was she doing in college in Ithaca, nursing school?
We started dating in college.
Okay.
So we knew each other, had classes, whatever, some time passes. We end up dating.
Okay.
We dated for maybe about a year before I dropped out. So I dropped out. I go to hike the Appalachian Trail. She finished up her last year of college,
Yeah.
and then she moved out to Ithaca with me.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, she's been on the journey with me
What
for a
was she
while.
doing while you were hiking this Appalachian Trail?
Well, she was in college still, so she had her
But like,
last.
you just like disappeared. You went off the grid for 6 months.
I told her. I told her I was leaving.
Like, did you have any communication? I mean, I'm just
I,
imagining.
I bought a new phone,
Okay.
so I had a new number,
Okay.
and my mom, Megan, and a handful of friends had it. So about once a week, when I had service, I'd give her a call, and it was kind of funny too because my calls were just like when I had service.
Right.
So she'd be like in the middle of doing something and be like, "My boyfriend's calling out." Never get to talk to him, and would just like stop whatever she was
Is he in the
doing.
military? Like, no, he's
He's
just
being homeless
yeah,
right
yeah, yeah.
now.
Fucking hoofing it in the Appalachian Trail. Like,
So yeah, she stuck with me through that, and I think
nice.
it was good for her. She got to enjoy a senior year of college without coming over and hanging
Nagging,
out every night
yeah,
and
nagging boyfriend.
doing the boyfriend girlfriend through college thing. So it was like she just kind of got to have more fun, and
Yeah,
it was good. I got to go on my hike and clear my head and have my own fun. So
yeah.
um, yeah, it was pretty cool.
And you had your dog the whole time too?
Yeah, I had my dog the whole way.
What kind of dog?
Rhodesian Ridgeback. I got her specifically for
Really?
that. I looked up what type of dog would be able to handle
Yeah.
2,000 miles,
And
and she handled it.
yeah.
Yeah, she had her own backpack.
Really?
Chased bears.
Yeah. Did she have like was she wearing the backpack when she walked? Or
Oh
did she
yeah,
oh
I
yeah.
didn't carry it.
No, you
No
didn't?
way. No way. Yeah, she
Okay.
it kind of fell around her rib cage there, one on each side, and yeah, she could get like 14 pounds of dog food in them. So
occasionally I'd have to carry some of her food, to, long stretch between
Yeah.
towns or whatever. But yeah, that dog, she pulled her own weight, man.
Wow.
She chased off bears. She did all sorts of cool stuff for me.
Dang, and Megan was there, and I mean, I don't know if you knew this, but Iowa has a really good nursing program, but you drug her out to Ithaca.
I did. I did.
Yeah. And then you
Yeah.
drug her out here.
Yeah. And she was working at the hospital as a tech
Really?
while she was in college. So, um, yeah, she was in that big hospital.
Yeah.
I think she was on like the top floor or something like
Yeah.
that. So good view in Iowa City, all that. Yeah, yeah. I made her go to Ithaca. She great woman, man. She
Yeah.
had my back through it all.
Yeah.
So, and I've put her through it too.
Yeah.
So
And so then you came out here, um, you said about 8 months or so after the hike. Like you did the
yeah,
hike, and then a few months later you were out here in Colorado Springs.
did the hike. Spent like 3 years in Ithaca,
Oh, okay. Okay.
coming out here occasionally for the camps
Gotcha.
and stuff like that at the
And when did you make
OTC.
the full move out here?
Was 2020, like June 2020.
Yeah.
Um, we moved out here, we got married, kind of all in like the same week, and
You got married out here?
we got married in Iowa.
Where's she from?
She's from Iowa. She went to West High.
Okay.
Um, yeah, we moved here and like dropped our stuff off, and then went back to Iowa, got married,
What the heck?
came back out, finished unpacking. So that was 2020. Wrestled at the Olympic Training Center, and that was where my Air Force, my coaching and athlete career kind of overlapped.
You started to hang out with or see Barbara or something? Or?
Yeah, I started seeing the Air Force coaches down at the Olympic Training Center, and there's like, hey, we got the stipend role. You can make some money and wrestle.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I need some money.
Yeah.
Anyone knows about wrestlers on the senior circuit, unless you're the man,
right? Unless you're making national teams, really.
Yeah, you're struggling
Yeah.
to make ends meet. So yeah, I talked with my coaches and was like, hey, I know it's folk style, but I can make some money if I miss like 2 or 3 practices a week. And they're like, yeah, wrestle and make money. That's
Yeah.
great. So yeah, and then kind of every year it got a little bigger role here at Air Force and doing a little bit more. And then as my athletic career ended, I was obviously able to take on a lot more, start doing more. So
yeah, when did that athletic career end?
it would have been, I think 2022.
And you were still wrestling?
I think so. I think that was the last like world trials I did.
Yeah.
There, or no, maybe 2023.
Yeah. Wow.
It might have been 2023. Yeah. I just feel like I've been wrestling forever, so it's hard.
Yeah. I mean, like the amount of wrestling you did after college is pretty amazing. I mean, you got done in college, what, 2016 or so?
Yeah, 2016. Yeah,
and then I mean, you had an extended career after that.
Yeah, yeah. I started back up. I think I started training in 2018. I came in, I think, right before World Trial, so I was like, I'm not even trying to qualify. Let me get my shoes back on first. So yeah, 2018 to like 2022, 2023, right in there, something like that. Yeah. So I tacked on another good handful of years of wrestling at the end, and heck, I still wrestle with these Air Force guys and the prep guys practically. I mean, every week for sure. So I'm still wrestling, man.
Did you ever get any, besides that concussion, did you ever sustain any real injuries? Did you come out pretty clean?
Came out of college real clean, and the concussion wasn't even bad. It was just terrible timing.
Yeah.
For me is really what it was.
And was that also right around when he beat the Penn State kid, or what did he do that at Big Tens?
Yeah, he did that I think that was for like 7th and 8th.
Okay, to
Big Tens.
That qualified him for national.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But sorry, what was the question?
Were you hurt or anything?
Oh yeah, no, I got out of college clean, man. No real injuries. It was the greco wrestling that got me.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think it was more just age too, a little bit, and a lot of lifting bodies,
Yeah,
lifting,
true,
moving
true.
bodies. But yeah, college got out real clean and healthy. And then yeah, I kind of started tacking on the injuries
Yeah.
from college or from senior career. Back hurts pretty bad. Had a couple knee surgeries now,
Really?
so yeah, I'm kind of
Yeah.
hurting these days. I come home, moaning and groaning to Megan almost every night.
Well, at least she's a nurse. She can take care of you, right?
She doesn't. She just tells me to
Probably.
toughen up.
Yeah, probably. She
That's
probably
what
like
happens when she's a nurse at work.
exactly. Yep. And she's
She'll
not
take
gonna.
care of me if I need it, but usually she's just like, "You're just sore.
Yeah.
Toughen up."
I mean, it's pretty been a. It has been a pretty wild ride. We've been talking for like hour and a half almost. I mean, do you ever like sit back and think about the Burke Paddock story, or or not?
Still writing it. Still
Oh,
writing
good.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. That was good. Yep. Yep. It is still
No,
on.
no, I think back and yeah, it's been pretty wild. It's been a wild ride, but
Yeah.
it's been so fortunate and so incredibly lucky with path and the people and just everybody I've been able to come across. So I feel incredibly fortunate and lucky in my path. And
I like it's interesting that you're using the word lucky and fortunate. I mean, from like zoomed out, no one I don't think would say that like you didn't achieve any of your goals.
yeah, no.
Like so from like this what am I trying to say? Just from outside looking in, people wouldn't use that word, but I just think it's cool that you're using that word having been through it, even though
Yeah.
you haven't didn't
Those
achieve all those
I would say
things.
those were my wrestling goals, my wrestling dreams. And wrestling's, I would say it's more than a huge part of my life. It's a lot of my life revolves around wrestling and
Yeah.
has. But those were my wrestling dreams and goals. Married. I'm incredibly happy. I have a daughter, another kid on the way. I'm surrounded by amazing people, and I've been able to learn from so many people and so many of the experiences I've gone through. And being a coach, I feel very very lucky to have gone through all this to help my athletes
Yeah.
and my wrestlers because yeah, a lot of coaches probably want the national champ, the
Yeah.
Olympian,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
But and it's like, yeah, I didn't reach those goals, but I know how to. I know there's the path to it. I know the path to be a great wrestler, and so I can just kind of pull from a lot of my own mistakes, really, I guess, and things I didn't achieve, and be like, hey, you got the tools, you got the materials. You want to be 31 saying, I think I was good enough to be an All American in college. Like, you want to be a freaking All American,
Mhm.
like, and so yeah, I feel lucky to have gone through everything I've gone through to give it back to my guys.
Yeah.
And, I love being there for my guys outside of off the mat. There's so much that goes into being a great wrestler. And again, stuff that I've learned from my own path. But there's so much to being a great wrestler that happens off of the mat. There's so many decisions that you can make and things you can do. And I'll be the first one to say I probably didn't make all those decisions. I maybe did at some point in my career, but I also didn't
Mhm.
at another point in my career. And so yeah, I feel like lucky and fortunate to be able to relay that info back to my wrestlers
Yeah.
and try to help them navigate their whole career outside of wrestling.
Mhm.
If that makes sense,
Yeah.
if that all lined up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I'm curious now. This whole time I've been kind of wondering what that logo is on your hat. Yeah, on your hat.
oh
What is
yeah,
it?
this is that's Chugga.
Who?
So all right, so we had Team 10, and that
It's a
that
Team 10 thing.
yeah, kinda, yeah. We can join. We combined clubs.
Okay.
Yeah, we had Team 10. That was like my dad's thing out of our barn. And then we kind of got linked up with a group from Buffalo, like
Okay.
more in Buffalo. And yeah, one way or another, we kind of combined clubs. It was like, we only had 10 wrestlers, they only had 10 maybe or
Yeah.
something. Like, all right, let's just go, and man, we just go in and just wreck tournaments
Yeah.
too, because they were pretty darn good. And but then we got a good training situation out of it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a Club Chin Cup. That's this club. And this is Team 10. So I'm just wearing all my club stuff today, I guess.
What did you call him? Chugga?
Chugga, yeah.
Chugga, what is it?
I'm pretty sure as the tail goes, it's a green Blastoise. You know Pokemon?
Yeah. It's a green Blastoise.
Yeah, I think this is how the story goes,
Mhm.
but I think we were playing with some Pokemon at a tournament,
Okay.
and Blastoise, you know who that
Oh
one
yeah.
is? His shell had fallen off. And so we're playing with a shellless Blastoise, and at the same time, the parents are trying to come up with a mascot
Yeah.
for Club Chin Cup. And one way or another, that they turned him green and gave him a tail, and hey, look at that guy, and called him Chugga.
Wow.
So yeah, we had two clubs that we wrestled for.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be this guy on the singlet with like a
Mhm.
little Team 10 in his eye or something like
Yeah.
that. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had like two clubs, I guess, I wrestled for.
Gotcha.
This one kind of came up a little bit later, and it was always its own club too, but we just joined forces.
It's funny. Team Chugga. It's also funny that you wrestled for two clubs and neither one was your home club. But
We didn't there was no club in Warsaw.
you said the Youth Warsaw Wrestling
Would you want me
Club.
to wrestle for youth when I was in high school?
Oh, this was a high school one.
Yeah, this is high school. High school. This
Okay.
came up later in our career. I would say like my older brothers never wrestled for Club Chinkov.
Ha.
So
Suckers.
yeah, like that club, we kind of joined up with that club, I would say after,
Yeah.
Ian left kind of. So it'd be like eighth, ninth grade.
Yeah.
Kind of started getting in with them. Yeah, joining forces.
All right. Last question for you. You had over 1,000 wins between you and your brothers. All right. Was there, or do you guys have fights about this? Maybe who was like maybe the most talented of you guys? Like, was there one that you were wow, that's like he's it, or he's probably the best?
Ongoing debate.
Okay.
Um, I'd say a lot of the talk goes between me and Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Ian probably wins most of those.
And I'm not talking just because he had like better accolades or whatever. Like, just because he maybe had a little bit more success in my mind doesn't automatically give him the trophy. I guess is what I'll say. You
Thanks,
know what I mean?
Joey.
You're welcome. Well, you they could have been watching you and go like, "Wow, Burke is."
Well, I guess I would have been wrestling in those instances, so I can't speak for other people. But yeah, it's tough. It's like Ian won a state title in eighth grade at 96 pounds. In eighth grade, I wrestled 145.
Right.
So I'm 14 or whatever,
Yeah.
wrestling seniors. He's in seventh grade, probably wrestling another seventh grader.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, not another state title, but what's it weigh?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
You
there's
know,
probably a little that like who they viewed as like the most talent or like the best, not just because the accolades.
yeah. I mean, I would like to say it's me, but I'm
Me
going to
too.
say most people are probably going to say Ian. So, he's four-time NCAA qualifier and Ohio State starter, so that college career holds pretty heavy.
Sure.
The Greco career tends to be the last style talked about, so success in Greco tends to go under the rug in
Success
America.
at the senior level
Yeah, but
versus college level.
anytime I'm at a bar with my old wrestling buddies and Ian, and we're all drinking, and I can say, oh, I placed at World Trials, I placed at the US Open.
Yeah.
For sure, 100% in Greco. Somebody else will say. So it's like, it just depends on what you look at. And but I will say I had him to work out with. I had him to guide me. I had
Yeah.
Paul to guide me. I had all their help. Where as you get younger, you get more help from the older brothers, where they were
Good.
the ones paving the way. So as much as I want to sit here and talk about Ian, well, he can't defend himself.
Yeah.
Um, he was a huge part of any success that I did have. So you can toss it up and look at it either way, but I'd say he had a pretty incredible college career,
Yeah.
and kind of ended it there, and I kept on going. So it just depends on what you look at. So maybe we'd have to talk to my old coach who wrestled with both of us, see what he has to say,
We will.
get the answer from him.
Yeah.
He would probably. I mentioned him earlier. My coach Charlie.
Mm.
He coached Paul, Ian, me, drilled with all of us. So he might be the man with the answer.
I'll have to get a hold of him.
Give him a call.
Yeah, we'll give him a call. We'll ask him.
Next podcast, we'll get him on.
What's his name? Charlie?
Yeah, Charlie Voorhees.
Oh, yeah, the one that went to high school with your mom.
Yeah,
that was. Yes, Charlie. Voorhees.
Yeah, so he might have that answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering, like maybe he might say, he might say
Paul.
Oh, he might say Paul.
I say Paul. Paul is freaking good.
Yeah,
he was good.
Yeah. So
he still is. He's
really.
Yeah, he's back in shape. He got the club going again, so he started working out.
Yeah.
He got that after wrestlers body for a little bit.
Yeah.
He's man.
What
Saw
about
him when I
Ian?
went back home. He's back. He looks like he's about to wrestle again.
Ian?
Yeah, Ian's still in good shape. Pretty much all my siblings are still holding pretty strong,
including yourself.
Yeah, I'm doing my best. I gotta stay in shape for these college kids, man. Can't let them get an edge on me.
You also can't let your brothers get the edge either. It's kind of like.
Well, see, that's what I can say now, is I'm like, I wrestle with D1 guys every single day. So if we want to roll a mat out right now,
right.
My confidence is through the roof with any of my siblings. I'm like,
Yeah.
I lift, I wrestle. Half the time I do the conditioning with my guys.
Really?
Like, you guys don't stand a chance. I'm sorry. Like, you might be my older brother, but I'm doing it every day.
Mhm.
Sorry.